morning, YouTube. My name is James PFP. This is Pitchforks and Flaming Torches, the Banjocast. Might take a second or two for the stream to normalize and start working. Waiting for the data from encoder message to pop up. Here we go. Health is currently reported as good. We'll see what happens. I'm going to pop the chat out. Stick it in the corner, see? Nobody puts the chat in the corner. I do. Got to leave it always on top as well. You have to excuse me, I'm enjoying a little bit of candy. Hey, what am I ready to do here? I'm going to read CBC News straight through. Only posted an hour ago. Storm hits Newfoundland, most of northern peninsula without power. Power has been restored to some communities with use of diesel generators as crews work to repair transmission lines. There are local backup diesel generators when the lines go down. Storm hit virtually all areas of the province overnight. I think that's probably true, but it didn't hit us all hard. And I don't know if it's really as hard as they're saying it is, but we'll see. Weather system that's affecting all of Newfoundland and Labrador knocked out the power for the entire northern peninsula early Friday morning as parts of the province continue to deal with high winds following an overnight storm. The western part of the province gets different winds and wind speeds due to the mountain range, which runs up along the coast. Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro said the high winds caused problems for the main transmission line that services the northern peninsula and also hampered efforts to access the line. Power has been restored to some customers in the Hawke's Bay and St. Anthony areas by 5 a.m. thanks to use of diesel generators, which are local, as I say. But all other customers in the region are still without electricity. Several customers restored in Hawke's Bay and St. Anthony. This is a tweet from NL Hydro. All our customers in the Great Northern Peninsula still without service. Thanks for your patience. The crews deal with harsh weather conditions. Of course, the temperature is not necessarily high across the province today. Let me go to Wonderground for a moment. I'll take the Ballyhally one. I'm also going to go to Environment Canada. I can go back to the back of liver from here, easy enough. Regions catching snowfall are obviously cold enough to snow. I wonder how far back it'll let me go here on the radar. Same image I was just looking at. Pretty neat. It's 3 degrees above here. 9 Fahrenheit. Is that 9 Fahrenheit? No, that's the expected high today. And I was looking at this last night. This is an interesting thing to notice. Local temperature is expected to do this by 12 today, or noontime today we'll be getting 8 or 9 degrees above freezing. But by Sunday morning, Monday morning, Sunday evening, we'll be dropping down to 9 below, which is around 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the difference, 30 degrees from top to bottom. But it's going to take 2 days to do that. 2 days of low pressure and gradually rising pressure, but it hovers around and then gets to peaks in the daytime, at noontime. See the downhill, then see the downhill, then see the down. If it was cold enough and we had enough precipitation, these things cause cyclic weather patterns. You see them? 1, 2, 3, and then a bump, and 1, 2, and then another one. Sometimes they cause snow to occur on schedule, but it hasn't happened for what, 15 years now, when it really got bad. Newfoundland Power was also reporting outages overnight in the Whitburn and southern Trinity Bay areas, which is nearby. I did notice a few times the power seemed to fluctuate a little as the grid took up the difference from one spot or another, I guess, down the line, or send a little extra power somewhere else. There are a couple different sources of power, but for this region, there's one major one. All Labrador is still under blizzard or winter storm warnings Friday morning. And wind warnings are still in effect for Newfoundland's south, west, and north coasts. Wind gusts as high as 174 kilometers per hour were recorded in the Wreck House area overnight. I think I pointed out Wreck House on Google Maps not too long ago. I'll point it out again. Winds in the Wreck House area. Let's go to satellite view. This is Wreck House right here. See, there's a pass between these two very high features. It's like a split. It's a mountain pass, essentially. These two mountains off to the side. You see the road passing through. This is Wreck House. Sort of like a natural wind tunnel. These are all place names that had more meaning back in the day when there was a railway line there too. But the winds through this region can be bad enough to cause a train to get thrown from the track. It's like a natural wind tunnel. Where is Wreck House exactly? I'm trying to remember here. Harder to see from up here. Environment Canada ended weather warnings further inland, including Deer Lake, Buckens, Grand Falls, Winder, and Gander, as well as Terra Nova, Bonavista, and the northern Avalon Peninsula areas. That's where I am. Burin southern Avalon regions are under storm surge warnings. High waves and pounding surf could cause damage to buildings near the coast. I'll keep an eye out for that, and if we get a bad sea state here, I'll go try to get some footage. Snow and ice turned to rain for most of Newfoundland Friday morning, but temperatures are expected to drop again throughout the day. We got an 8-hour period of warm though. Advising Department of Transportation and Works are advising drivers to stay off the TCH Trans-Canada Highway from Stephenville to Port aux Basques due to high winds and wet slushy road conditions, and to stay off Route 430 from Deer Lake to Plum Point due to very heavy snow drifting. Much colder there. In Labrador, drivers are being asked to avoid highways as it is too stormy for plows to operate due to high winds and heavy drifting. Many flights at airports in Newfoundland and Labrador have also been cancelled. I had noticed. It's not funny, but yeah, is it a dud or not? I'm not entirely sure yet. I had to look at this before I get back to work, but I looked at it once before I started streaming too. All from hours ago. Authorized zero access to White House. Actually turned him down many times for author of phony book, exclamation mark. Never spoke to him for book. Full of lies, misrepresentations, and sources that don't exist. Look at this guy's past and watch what happens to him and Sloppy Steve. Gee, I wonder who he's talking about there. And Sloppy Steve. There's an and in there. Dow just crashes through 2,500 or 25,000. Congrats. Big cuts and unnecessary regulations continuing. A day ago. Fake news media barely mentions the fact that the U.S. stock market just hit another new record and that business in the U.S. is booming. But the people know. Can you imagine if O was president and had these numbers? Would the biggest story be the biggest story on earth? Down now over. 7 hours ago. Right. Who might argue with him? I'm being facetious. I wonder, are all the flights still canceled or what? Could probably have a peek at the long-range map and make that determination. Not expecting a heck of a lot of chat this morning. Gonna load this up now before I get too much further. Also, I know that I've got this one little thing to do here. Might as well do it on the cam over. Oh, this will work. This will be fun. I wondered why. Cool. What I was saying before I finished off the last stream. I'm going through these now one at a time and doing the more involved work fast. Like that. But it's easily done. It's so nice when it's done. I've got a text card to add to it after. Let me go right to the beginning though. What I've been doing is adding a few different layers to get information onto the image that I haven't added up to now. And some of it is very cartoon-like, very simple. So what will happen is when it's playing, it'll jump between the two of them before proceeding to the next involved thing. I'm going to turn off the waveform. I don't need to really see the waveform for this. I've already measured out these pretty carefully. Here's the next one. And I need to add a text element to this as well. Here's the third one. These are all detailed in the last stream. You can see how to do these sorts of things by adding in a little strip for where you intend to do something with. This is the most involved one. I did this in the last part of the last stream, where what I did was started from no mask at all. Well, let's go back. Faded this mask in to give more focus to the interior part of the image during the talking part, but only during the talking part. Next one, mostly going to be text. Text on this bright area won't look as good as in this dark area. But text on the bright area might actually look better. Might be less obtrusive to what's happening in the dark area. Because you can more clearly see his father's face there than you can when he's backlit a shot later. I'll show you what I mean. Shot later, this is the same dude. And what I'm doing here is adding overlays. Draw attention to the fact that there's a high degree of contrast there. In the center part of the image. And this is the next one I need to do. Product placement. I can do like 3 different masks here, probably will work well. One for the people out here. One for that. And then I could probably give him a halo. Perhaps even color them all differently colored red. So how am I going to do that? I get a frame number here. I'll get it on this side of the window. Make sure that it's that actual frame. It looks like it. This is number 7, huh? This one right here? Cool. Movie clip editor. Notice we had a mask we ought to use, but it's got a name, F003. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to load another. Well, I want this to stay in memory. Save this to data block even if it has no users. Yes. And now I'm going to load another one. And it will want another mask. But the first thing I'm going to do is set it to be at the correct frame. A little bit of candy for the morning is excellent. I need a new mask. Create a new mask. And this is going to be F007A. Need a mask for the first mask. Let's do the preacher. Toggle cyclic, and it connects it. And I can also subdivide this sometime. I don't know if it'll let me do it here. Subdivide. Specials doesn't work. How about if I add another one there? Yeah, I can select between them like this and click and add another couple points. I might want to do this. That's what I'm thinking. I can also tighten that on. Because it's only a one mask, or like one set of frames where it's really going to matter. Or it's only one still image, I mean. I don't need any terribly accurate. I'll add in one here. I don't need anything that's terribly accurate or moving or animated. All I need is just to have it there. So let's do it. Another one. Holding control and left clicking to get another one. That looks pretty good. Select them all. So that's one mask, F007. Gonna add another one. And here we can see that these, they're all here, right? F007B. This one's a little more involved. Since it's a little more involved, let's ignore everything else for now except the image. And I did that by hitting Control Up arrow in the window itself. Control Up arrow. Control down to make it go down again. I want the people in the pews to be highlighted. This takes a little more work, but it's worth doing. So I'm gonna do it, but rough and tumble. It doesn't need to be too terribly accurate. I'm gonna change my mind about that one. Oh, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Here we go. Control left click, Control left click. Control left click and make cyclic. But hey, I can keep adding to this mask as many of these little things as I want. Oh, Control Z there. Select them all, deselect them, add another one. So I'm going to do these bunches of people, especially if they're touching one another like this, like even in depth of the image, I mean. And it's only a single frame and there's no camera motion to be taken care of or anything like that. But anything that I can get in a big block like this is what I'm aiming for. Looks like I can get there. Oh, Control Z there. How to get this to connect, right? This is the fun part. Watch. Oh, gonna be a tricky one. Toggle cyclic. Select them all with A key. Look at that. It's another mask that's been done. I can add more points to this, make it more and more detailed or not, but I'm only going to be flashing a color up and off these parts of these pixels. So I don't think I really need to worry about it too much. Here's the next one. I want to flash these at a different rate than I do the preacher, though. That's the reason why I'm segregating two different sets, like mask A and mask B. Here's a little more tricky. They're all touching all the way back, so I can get around there. I can totally get around all this thing. And I'm going to do it this way. Bums on seats. That's what I'm thinking. The guy in the front, I'll use his bum as the reference bum. All the way over to here. Casual, Mom, is casual. Oh, Control Z, Control. I'll go this way with it. Yay for the highlight of the back there, eh? Like for the natural matte line that is the silhouette. Oh, highly representative crowd here. I don't think any of these people are related. It's the funny part. If they are, I can't quite catch the resemblance. Wait, is that the mother's side or the bride's? I can't tell. Tricky area right here. I'm gonna do it this way. Oh, Control Z. Now toggle cyclic. Wow. Got this big area in between though. I could actually remove a site, like an area on the inside. Individual origins. I could tell it to remove a part of the mask as well. I'm going to do that right now by doing this. The blend right now is merge add. Maybe I'll leave that where it is. I should probably have cut that part out though. Next mask layer. That's what this is telling me. Go add a mask layer. Mask layer 1 is that one. Mask layer 2, I'm going to set this to merge subtract. Going to overlap. I can also display matted here. Outline or white or dash, which is kind of nice sometimes. Outline. I can also overlay it like this or use a smoother iteration. Anyway, this one here is now set to subtract. Holding control, click, 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 click. Oh, control Z there. And toggle cyclic. So now if I show the overlay, the mask has the removed area. The negative space. And these are all individual mask layers being applied to the image as a whole. They can segregate them, or I can select them individually. There's a third one. .007C. Toggle cyclic. Gonna get more. This one here, look, I could set that to be auto or vector or line. Let's go to vector for a minute. That's in a good position. This one's all right. That one, not so much. Merge, add, smooth, overlap, everything. Again, we look at the overlay. That's what the mask is actually going to do. Get rid of that. Go back to video sequence editor. So now I'm looking at this image. I got these color strips, so I can duplicate these as many times as I want. I shall first set up a strip modifier for the mask. This one has mask by frame rate, 00. Right, I have to select mask, not strip. Because there's only so many masks that have been assigned to this project anyway. And just so that we're real clear about this, I'll grab Y and bring it down to the next level. That's all that mask is doing, is just highlighting that like so. And now to animate the mask's brightness or its opacity or anything else, I can do that right here by keyframing it. And when keyframing it, I can make an animation that way, but I can also modify the masked image. I can blur that, for example, provided I also use the mask. I don't know. I don't think I need the mask here. Let me take the mask off. Gaussian blur, add. It's add to this. I could hide this. This is now taking care of the actual adding the color. But I could also blur it to make it more like a halo effect. Don't want the blur, don't have the blur. But the blur would get rid of any sharp pixels or points. And remember, I'm going at 73% opacity. Or at least I should have to remember that. If I decide to do some other thing like blur the halo. And I think I will blur it. Set to add, set to 73, so it's the same as the previous one. This is halo blur. And at the beginning of halo blur, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get real old school with this. And at the first frame, hit home. We can see how they're both selected already. Shift E to extrapolate and make cyclic. And I'll do like I did with the last one, limiting it to the X to get this cyclic thing going. But hey, wait a minute, I hear you say. Yeah, that's right, there's more than one matte and more than one color, potentially. Control, or Shift, sorry, D. Hitting Y so it's on the Y axis. I'm going to let the crowd be offset to some degree, as if it were responding to a couple of flashes and then it starts flashing too. And I'm going to change the color. I duplicated this too, so I'm going to change the color and also the mask. Before unhiding it. So that does what I wanted it to do. It gets all the people in the crowd and isolates them, gives them this recolor. But there's no animation applied to it. It just pops up like that. Do I want to blur that one too? Probably, maybe that would be a good idea. So Shift A, blur. This is going to be set to add, it's 0.73 on average, maybe a little less, maybe 0.61 for the crowd. And the blur can be tighter and wider on one dimension than on the other. And we're going to do the cycle rate differently. Okay, 10 frames, 20 frames, 30 frames, 37 frames, I think. One at the beginning, afterward. There's the 2. Shift, make cyclic. Now, hey, can I offset those? Oh yes, surely can. Hit X. So I could choose any value here. For example, when he's getting into the holy rolling, I could have them already. I could have them already doing something, so to speak. But if I want to get the most out of it, I need to be looking for where their 0 value is. Hold an X. And snapping that over more. So now I'm getting the most out of that time on screen. Pretty simple stuff, right? Pretty simple stuff. But hey, I know, there's another one. Let's duplicate the third one. Hold Y. Product placement 28, add different color. A light blue, maybe a magenta or off red. Even hot pink. Hot pink. Hot pink, and it needs this mask. We can check. Yep. I like the idea of having this one be a really, really tight, a snap-on, snap-off, like pink, 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 pink blinker light. So we'll do a blur or not? Yeah, I think I will do a blur on it. Set it to, not cross, but add. Blur it by 5, by 13, and by 7. I try 13 and 7, I think will work better. Its value is 1 or 0. I think I'm going to do this as a 1 or 0 type of affair with an on and off phase. On, off, on, off. So the very first frame, it can come on. It could be on, right? Yeah, why not? And 10, 20, 1, 2, 3. It's keyframed again, but 24, it goes to 0. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We'll have a look here what I just did with these 3 keyframes. What if I set those to cyclic? So all 3 are blinking at different rates. Oh, need to take a quickish break. Move this over here. It's really a rather interesting morning out there. I'm going to take a quick cigarette break before I get back to this for the long term. Don't expect to see too much air traffic. There ain't nothing showing on this thing at all. And if anyone wants to chat, by all means, be my guest. Leave a message. Also, there's a Discord channel, link in the description. want to see that that works when I do it. That's the reason why I keep popping up the window. All right. I'm going to close this for a second. Pop it open again. Run the program again. Just make sure that it's linked through. But I'm not seeing anything at all on the local board. I can't avoid the knowledge. I got to know. See what this says. This might say some curious things. Wow. East Coast has been hit with some major